I would really love a read on what the competitor area is like right now, because it feels like the tension is building, and it's moving up. Like each match is trying to perform.
Well, one of the things, too, what you were bringing up before is, like, we've had so many good matches. You do not want to have the boring match of the night. You know what I mean? Everybody's just going out there fighting. I imagine they can see what's happening, and you really have to go out and give it your all. Otherwise, I mean, there's so many great matches tonight, you would be considered boring.
And let's hear it for his opponent. Out of the blue, Anthony Aguilera.
Anthony from Tillis, BJJ, taking on Diego Vasquez. I have Carlson Gracie. I do see Kevin Burbage in his corner.
Yeah, Diego Vasquez is out of Carlson Gracie. He also cross-trains quite a bit at Peerless with Steven Martinez in Corona. Steven was actually supposed to be on our card and had an injury and was kind of a late dropout and was replaced. But, yeah, they usually have a couple people from their crew on Subversiv.
Different babies wear 240 differently.
You guys got to get after it.
I'm hoping so. I want to see some slams. We haven't really seen a slam too much tonight.
Yeah, everyone's been pretty defensively aware of it. We saw a couple attempts.
For sure.
Here we go, Diego Vasquez, Anthony Aguilera. Two guys who consistently go off the edges of the stage we've seen once or twice.
I'm not going to try to stop it this time if it happens.
Nice front headlock here from Diego Vasquez. Diego does a really great job of transitioning between snapping people down and attacking the choke. So he's kind of always on the offense. So you're either defending the snap or you're defending the choke. And he'll transition between both till, you know, he gets just a couple seconds ahead of you in reaction time. Pretty strong wrestling as well. Diego's one of those heavyweights you'll see actually shoot for like low singles and a lot of traditional wrestler styles rather than just the jiu-jitsu style of like snatch single and body lock and underhook.
Yeah, some of these heavyweights will catch you slipping.
For sure.
Here we go.
Especially
high crotch.
Especially if you're their opponent and you are only purely jiu-jitsu. A lot of heavyweights are coming in from wrestling from back in the day.
Yeah, we see really nice takedown there from Diego Vasquez. He kind of was in on a high crotch or high C and looked like he might switch out to a double, but he ended up in like a crackdown position where he put him on his hip. But now he is in half guard. One thing that's interesting about Diego as well is I've watched him quite a bit and commentated for him. He is one of the most flexible people I've ever seen. Like, you get his foot, you get a Kimura. People always kind of say you just have to put him to sleep. He's very, very difficult to tap.
That could be really frustrating, too, as an opponent when you feel like you have someone dead to rights and you don't have the range that they have defensively to actually finish the submission.
For sure, especially with being closer to the heavyweights, the 240s, high level of flexibility is quite rare once you start getting up into the bigger guys. So a lot of people don't expect it when you're flexible.
Diego's back on a front headlock, and it looks like we're going to get a reset. I had a chance to chat just for a moment during the break with PJ, our ref here.
Okay.
I just said, man, you're earning your money today, aren't you? And he's just like dripping at the time, head to toe.
He's cooking in that all-black outfit.
Yeah, he is. Diego's working the front headlock, and he spins to the back, just like you were saying, Kendall.
Diego does a really great job at being patient, too, not getting over the top of the shoulders. But as I say that, wow, Aguilera comes out with that foot, just saves him enough to get him back to a standing position.
Looks like he gave him it just a little bit.
Interesting grip here. Diego kind of has two hands on the back of the head in like a double snap down position. We don't always see that as an effective scoring position, I would say, but what it does do really effectively is it annoys people.
Makes them tired.
It freaks them out. It weirds them out. It's heavy on the back of their head. and they start kind of going crazy to peel those collar ties off. So even though you might not be snapping people down like that, you can get them to open up and make mistakes. Another high C there from Diego Vasquez.
That was deep, too.
Almost a similar crackdown finish, but look at that armbar. Wow, Aguilera getting very creative there with his legs.
We're going to see a crucifix.
He hit a nice little switch off that and ended up sliding to the back.
Aguilera not quite behind the shoulder line on both sides, but he's looking to come all the way to the back. Diego still has a leg, though. He still has that right arm snaked in behind the leg. So Aguilera is going to be trying to move both legs behind Diego's right shoulder. That's typically when we can tell a turtle position is established, is if we get behind both shoulder lines. So anytime that the arms are intertwined like that, it's very, very hard to consider it like a done position. There's too much transition still going on. Oftentimes what happens here too with athletes, and definitely been there myself, is when you're stuck in this single leg kind of position, you get overzealous about attacking the back and you really are trying to force yourself behind the hips, you off balance yourself and get yourself taken down. So typically what we'll see here is an emphasis on sprawling that right leg back to free it before going further towards the hips.
This is a classic dilemma in no-gi grappling and folk style wrestling. You see this come up over and over.
This, you see it every single place.
And it looks like
if you have a little bit higher level of flexibility too, you can do what he just did and get the hooks in and start working from there.
Aguilera almost got on the back, but Vasquez is very clever at the ends of these transitions, and he ends up making the adjustment to come back up on top.
Wow, look at a bit of an ankle sweep there, the kid sweep.
Don't worry about your shirt, baby.
I love that sweep so much.
Yeah, Aguilera has some great attacks, but he's seemingly a little bit overzealous on the finishes, and then allows himself to be off balance, or Diego's able to scramble out. So we see that, that develops over time with athletes, that maturity and that patience to secure positions before moving forward. And Diego's been able to capitalize off of a little bit of the rushy style of Aguilera, even though Aguilera's had been, many great opportunities for attacks and done a lot of great things. We see here now Aguilera's going to like this deep path. He's trying to go all the way underneath the body of Diego. So it was a lockdown for a second. It's not quite that now, but it's lockdown-esque. And he's looking to go underneath Diego's left leg. So if he can scoop grip under that leg, that's going to be a great position for him to attack from. So we see a lot at the heavyweights as well, because, typically, if you are in the heavyweight division, and I'm one of those people, you do not want someone in a head and arms smash top position with both your shoulders on the mat. So you might opt to go under that leg to save yourself, as we're seeing he's doing. And
some people's top pressure are just so ridiculously heavy.
Look at Diego, though. You know what I bet he's thinking is to go for this topside knee bar.
Yes.
His left leg is a little bit stuck now, still inside the leg, but that was very interesting. It almost looked like, was Diego scared of being electric chaired there a little bit?
I think he was, but now they both have competing attacks.
Or banana split, sorry, not electric chair. Interesting
Aguilera
toe
has
hold.
the toe hold on the
Yeah, I don't think he has the grip quite right to really.
This is a strong position for him to end in, though. Just even though that toe hold wasn't a super strong submission attempt, he's really turned the table.
30 seconds.
And now is pouring the pressure on Diego. Diego does have a bit of a lockdown here, so we'll see if he tries to go for the same kind of situation. Maybe he's going to look under and go for a deep half position, but there's only about 20 seconds left on the clock. Wow, strong finishing position here from Aguilera. Even if he doesn't finish, this is going to leave a lasting impression.
Oh, baby.
Big Americana here. Classic. I told you Diego's very difficult. Wow. I'm telling you, man, Diego has weird joints.
Wow.
That guy is so hard to tap.
Shoulders.
I'm getting chills thinking about my shoulders on that one.
Yeah.
That was some crazy cranking going on right there.
That tore my
big
rotator
power.
cuff. How does that impact the judges? That being the last thing that they see.
It's also got to be the most significant submission attempt we saw in the entire match, right? So I think whether it was the beginning, the end, or how close Diego was to tapping, we don't know. That was the most significant submission attempt we had seen, for sure.
I think it was the closest to ending the fight, for sure.
Yes.
Diego getting a little.
Ladies and gentlemen, after going the distance, he is your winner, Anthony Aguilera.
Yeah, that Americana in the last 10 seconds,
Wow.
I think, is definitely the decision maker in this match.
It felt like
Let's hear it one more time for Diego Vasquez.
it felt like Diego influenced the match much more and kind of
100%.
dictated, but that's one of the classic storylines in Jiu-Jitsu is you can have the pace and the positions dictated you, and then you can get a submission in the end or come out on the top of